Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact. He's the man on the mic. You didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe. From the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
Demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
Demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. Welcome to First Contact Radio. How you doing today? Today is February 3rd, 2015. Full moon. Moon sign in Leo, sun sign in Aquarius. So we have a fire sign unconsciously and an air sign consciously. So our conscious mind, the things we're thinking about, are dealing with air, words, actions, futuristic things. The moon sign, our unconscious mind, is dealing with fire, creativity, how to release this fire inside of ourselves out into the world. Okay, how do we release these ideas, this creativity that we have? Aspects we're going to be dealing with take place this afternoon. Uranus, unexpected change in the way in which we maybe use our creativity, how we express ourselves. A little bit later at 5, just after 5 o'clock, the sun and the moon will be on that old teeter-totter together, balancing each other out. So the aspects of Aquarius will be on the teeter-totter with Leo the lion. On one side you got creativity, on the other side you have these words and these actions, this idea of hooking together the spiritual by connecting in. The tarot card of the Aquarius is the card of the star, Hebrew letter Zadi, fish hook, or the whole idea of hooking together the spiritual with the physical. And then later tonight, just close to midnight, Jupiter will be in the mix. Jupiter right next to Leo in conjunction, having a conversation. Jupiter's talking to Leo about expanding. Time to expand. And then tomorrow we're going to be in another moon sign. And we've got a whole day long of being in this void of course moon. So yes, tomorrow's going to be an interesting day because we go into the void of course moon tonight. And we've got all the way till tomorrow till we actually get into the next sign. So we're just going to have some lingering time on as we move from today with this full moon. But full moons are good. Full moons are always an accumulation of the energy. It builds up for 2 weeks, and then it drops back down again. And we can look at what we did on the new moon and see how it's manifesting itself at the full moon. It kind of works in waves that way. 14 Shavat is the day on the Jewish calendar, year 5775. Daily thought is dressed in God's clothes. God is not understandable, but God ponders himself, and this mode of pondering himself gave to us, dressed in many stories and rituals and ways of life. Dressed in those clothes, we unite with God in his pondering of himself. Current moon phase is 100% full. We know that by looking in the sky. The solar wind has dropped 557.2. Remember yesterday it was in the 600s. M-class flare, or planetary K-index, is down quiet now. It was in the 4 last night. Good solid 4 for both aspects. Now we've got quiet, possibly jumping back up there. Our corona hole we could see is moving a bit more off to the right side here. So we'll see how that continues to evolve. M-class flare possibility is dropping. It had gone up to 50. Now we're back down to 30. X class is down to 5. Geomagnetic storm activity is going from 40 down to 20 in the mid latitudes. High latitudes, it's dropping as well from 50 down to 30. So everything's really lessening there. And over at the sky tonight, left of the moon is going to be Jupiter. So we see the moon. We look just to the left of it, Jupiter, and a little below that, Leo, right below the Jupiter there. Okay. Says the full moon climbs the eastern sky this evening with Jupiter shining a few degrees to its left. They may look paired, but Jupiter is actually 1,600 times further away, which is why it looks small despite being 40 times larger than the moon in diameter. All right, there you go. That is our cosmic weather. That gets us started for today's show. And you know what happens next. That's right, UFO news. Let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. So, first story takes us over to Mars, or up to Mars. Over to, up to, wherever. Guess depends where we're at, right? Yesterday we saw a ship. Today we see a ship that is apparently hidden up on Mars. Something seems to be in this cave-like structure right here. Again, all these pictures are found from NASA's own archives themselves. Here we have an excellent specimen of a foundation that still remains on Mars. This may, of course, be more than a foundation, but is instead maybe the walls and ceilings of an ancient structure. If that were to close the case, then the inhabitant would be only a few centimeters tall. To close my mind and to say such a thing is impossible would be non-scientific, because we all know that any person who says something is impossible is a person not smart enough to figure it out or see the big picture. These are real anomalies from the ancient culture, but the only way to remain certain is to examine it closer, and that's not what will NASA allow. Well, oh well. NASA doesn't want to know. They don't want us to know. Never a straight answer. Okay, here's in Florida. This is a very interesting one that took place yesterday. Check this out. Okay, the page is acting a little bit wanky here. Wanky, I guess that's a word for crazy. All right. Okay, this is a 9-minute video. This is the CE Vibe, Stephen Greer's group, but here's what they captured. Okay, we've got one light here, and then there's going to be a second light pops up here. We'll see a second light. Should come on any time now. Look at this. Now, that one just popped on right there. So whatever's going on out there, they're having some contact out there. And this is the CE5 group. Very cool. Whole video is 9 minutes in length. You can check it out. Okay, excellent. Check that whole video out. See what's going on. Fast UFO filmed over Sydney, Australia, the 31st. New video, very fast UFO flying and making maneuvers over Sydney, Australia. This comes to us from footage taken on Saturday. And if we get to the videos here, I don't know, little problems with the videos today for some reason. Don't know why. Some days are like that. It's Mercury retrograde. Still in that phase. 4 minutes 34 seconds here. Laszlo, UFO hunter here. Laszlo Novak. And this is... There we go. Right there. Okay, let's move on. Next one here. UFO hunters. Asteroid moon is no moon. It's an alien spaceship. Okay, we saw this the other day. This was another shot coming in. That large asteroid that was passing by. It says UFO hunters and enthusiasts set their wishful thinking energies into full throttle this week, claiming that the tiny 230-foot wide piece of space rock gravitationally attached to the mountain-sized near-Earth asteroid is actually an alien spacecraft. As Yahoo News reported January 28th from NASA, that asteroid 2004 BL-86 is not a lone traveler through space. It was met with excitement from astronomers, but drew the interest of the world. Among those whose interest it drew were contingent, quick to question NASA's findings and provide an interpretation for the images taken by the Deep Space Network antenna in Goldstone, California, and the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. The giant asteroid had no moon. What it had was a UFO, a diamond-shaped spacecraft, as a traveling companion. Says this asteroid has a flying UFO in orbit. Scott C. Warren of UFO Sightings Daily posted. We can see it from the details photo of the craft. It's diamond-shaped and flat. NASA, of course, goes on to say that the flat object, which does not flip over end, is a moon. Wrong. Any moon this thin would be tumbling end over end. This object is keeping itself steady, flying like a ship would in space. Again, Street Cap 1 is the one who caught this. Good job, Street Cap 1. Always catching good stuff. Alright, here is something that might bring alien life to this planet. Not that there isn't already alien life here. Did aliens send a gooey biological liquid to Earth to propagate their life? Scientists think so. This never before seen image shows a microscopic metal globe spewing out biological material feared to be an infectious agent. Okay. Well, now things are definitely getting all locked up here. There we go. Says we were stunned when X-ray analysis showed that the sphere is made up of mainly of titanium with a trace of vanadium. One theory is it was sent to Earth by some unknown civilization in order to continue seeding the planet with life. This seemingly piece of science fiction called plant panspermia would probably not be taken seriously by any scientist were it not for the fact that it was very seriously suggested by the Nobel Prize winner of DNA fame, Dr. Francis Crick, unless of course they can provide details of the civilization that is supposed to have sent it in this respect. It is probably an unprovable theory. A lot more to this article, but it's an interesting idea where it might have come from. Very interesting indeed. Here we have piece Raymond Yakalela seeks stories for UFO documentary. The filmmaker, born in Tilita, Northwest Territories, is collecting stories about UFO sightings in the North for a documentary. There have been reports of sightings and encounters with extraterrestrials throughout the Northwest for years, including one earlier this month in Fort Smith. Yakalela says there's even a UFO connection and evidence in Denny legend. We have one of our legends, a story about alien visitations there. The chief said of the alien people has requested a Denny wife, and that it happened, he said. It is often wondered about that. How is it possible that our people would have alien beings in our legends? One thing I do know about my people is they don't lie. They don't make up things like that. He said he's heard many sides from elders who say they've seen UFOs out in the land. He says even though he's never experienced alien encounters, he can't discount what others say. Alright, very cool. And one last story here. This is above Memphis, Tennessee, the 20th of the month. 2-minute, 25-second video. This one did make the news. And there's our object in question. Okay. Very cool. Interesting. So the media is still trying to figure it out. They're all, I mean, do you really think the media is that clueless? Do you? It's kind of, it seems as if they are. They see these UFOs and they act as if they've never seen them before. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's a weather balloon. It's swamp gas. And they go along with the story. You would think by now in 2014, people would be a little bit more sophisticated in their understanding about such things. But it is quite surprising from year to year, from day to day, to find out what people really don't know. And sometimes our expectations of what we think the general population should know aren't always met, are they? So there you go. That's our UFO news. That's what's taking place around us. I'll be back. We shall continue on. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Great Spirit, send down your love, send down your love, send down your love to us from above. Great Spirit, send down your love, send down your love, send down your love to us from above. Oh, 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 oh.
All right, I'm ready to continue on. So, UFO news, how does that connect into all the stuff that we've been reading about from the Nag Hammadi Library? Well, archons. That's the connection right there, because we hear the term over and over, the archons. The archons could be related to, or are definitely related to Yaldabaoth. So who is Yaldabaoth? Well, seems to be that it is connected with the Sumerians and the Mesopotamians. Seems that the same god Yaldabaoth is possible. It seems like it would be Anu from the Mesopotamian story, Yahweh in the Hebrew Bible. These are all the same. These are an ancient astronaut who came down to Earth. Therefore, fits right into the story here as one of those archons that is being referred to. So when I talk about the extraterrestrials, we're possibly talking about these very same archons. Now, we don't know which ones are always going to be the good guys, which ones are the bad guys. We're still trying to figure that out because our stories down here on Earth are so twisted around. Just by reading through the Bible, you don't really get the answer to all of that because everything is twisted. And then you get to the other books that didn't make it into the Bible, that didn't get edited, and you start to find out that there's a bit more information there that would be quite helpful to us if we knew this a while back, because then we could make a decision. Because on one hand, when we read through the Bible's version, we see that the serpent is the bad guy. The serpent did something wrong by doing this to humankind, and that the God character in there was the good one. But then when we read through all the texts out of Nag Hammadi, we see it's the opposite, that the serpent was the one who was bringing the wisdom to open up and help Adam wake up, that it was Yaldabaoth who was actually trying to slave humankind. And this ties in to the story of the Anunnaki with Enlil and Enki and Anu. So we'll get to that. We will get to that to see how it all ties in. In the meantime, I want to continue on with our story. I'm going to backtrack just a paragraph so that we can kind of follow along. Because here we are now where it says, when the god of the powers, and we're talking here about Yaldabaoth, when the god of the powers will be divided, saying, what is this power of the man who is higher than we? Then we will arouse a great wrath against that man, and the glory will withdraw and dwell in holy houses which it has chosen for itself. And the powers will not see it with their eyes, nor will they see the illuminator either. Then they will punish the flesh of the man upon whom the Holy Spirit came. Now this all comes about because this isn't the real God. This is the fake God. And the God understands that man, who he's created, has more power than he has. And the reason that is, remember in the other ones, in the origin of the world, in the hypostasis of the archons, or even the secret gospel or the secret book of John, in all of those, it talked about after man was made, the archons became jealous. Why? Because the archons had put into this man all of their goodness, their kindness, the best qualities of themselves they put into Adam. They weren't necessarily thinking ahead to realizing what was going to be the result, and the result was they created a being that was more perfect than they were. And that's what is going on here. So they're realizing man is more perfect, and so they're going to punish man. Yaldabaoth says, well, if that's the case, they're going to punish anyone who has this Holy Spirit over them. So the angels and all the generations of the powers will use the name in error, asking where did this error come from, or where did the words of deception, which all have the powers have failed to discover, come from? And here's the answer. The first kingdom says of him that came from a spirit to heaven, and he was nourished in the heavens. He received the glory of that one and the power. He came to the bosom of his mother, and thus he came to the water. The second kingdom says of him that he came from a great prophet, and a bird came, took the child who was born, and brought him into a high mountain. And he was nourished by the birds of heaven. An angel came forth there and said to him, Arise, God has given glory to you. He received glory and strength, and thus he came to the water. The third kingdom says of him that he came from a virgin womb. He was cast out of a city, he and his mother. He bought a desert place, was nourished there. He came and received glory and strength, and thus he came to the water. The fourth kingdom says of him that he came from a virgin. Solomon sought her, he and Pharisalo and Saul, and their armies which had been sent out. Solomon himself sent his army of demons to seek out the virgin. They did not find the one whom they sought, but the virgin who was given them. It was she whom they fetched. Solomon took her. The virgin became pregnant, gave birth to the children there. She nourished him on a border of the desert. When he had been nourished, he received glory and power from the seed from which he was begotten, and thus he came to the water. The fifth kingdom says of him that he came from a drop of heaven. He was thrown into the sea. The abyss received him, gave birth to him, brought him to heaven. He then received glory and power, and thus he came to the water. The sixth kingdom says that down to the aeon which is below, in order to gather flowers, she became pregnant from the desire of the flowers. She gave birth to him in that place. The angels of the flower garden nourished him. He received glory there and power, and thus came to the water. The seventh kingdom says of him that he is a drop, and came from heaven to earth. Dragons brought him down to caves. He became a child. A spirit came upon him and brought him on high to the place where the drop had come forth. He received glory and power there, and thus he came to the water. The eighth kingdom says of him that a cloud came upon the earth and enveloped the rock. He came from it. The angels who were above the cloud nourished him. He received glory and power there, and thus he came to the water. The ninth kingdom says of him that he is from 9 muses. One separated away. She came to a high mountain and spent some time seated there, so that she desired herself alone in order to become androgynous. She fulfilled her desire, became pregnant from her desire. He was born. The angels who were over the desire nourished him. He received glory there and power, and thus he came to the water. The 10th kingdom says of him that God loved a cloud of desire. He begot him in his hand and cast upon the cloud above him some of the drop, and he was born. He received glory and power there, and thus he came to the water. The 11th kingdom says that the father desired his own daughter. She herself became pregnant from the father. She cast something tomb in the desert. The angel nourished him there, and thus he came to the water. The 12th kingdom says of him that he came from 2 illuminators. He was nourished there. He received glory and power, and thus came to the water. The 13th kingdom says of him that every birth of the ruler is the word. and this word received a mandate there. He received glory and power, and thus he came to the water in order to desire of those powers might be satisfied. But the generation without a king over it says that God chose him from all of the aeons. He caused the knowledge of the undefiled one of truth to come to be in him. He said, out of the foreign air from a great aeon, a great illuminator came forth, and he made the generations of those men whom had chosen for himself there, so that they could shine upon the whole aeon. Then the seed, who will receive his name upon the water, and that of them all, will fight against the power, and a cloud of darkness will come upon them. Then the peoples will cry out with a great voice, saying, Blessed is the soul of those men, because they have known God with the knowledge of the truth. They shall live forever, because they have not been corrupted by their desire, along with the angels, nor have they accomplished the works of the powers, but they have stood in the presence and the knowledge of God-like light that has come forth from fire and blood. For we have done every deed of the power senselessly. We have boasted in the transgression of all the works. We have cried out against the God of truth, because of all his works is eternal. These are against our spirits, for now we have known that our souls will die the death. Then a voice came to them, saying, Michio, Michar, Menencios, who are over the holy baptism in the living water, why were you crying out against the living God with lawless voices and tongues without law over them, and souls full of blood and foul deeds? You are full of works that are not of truth, but your ways are full of joy and rejoicing. Having defiled the water of life, you have drawn it within the will of the powers to whom you have been given to serve them. And your thought is not like that of the men who you persecute and desire. The fruit does not wither, but they will be known to the great aeons, because the word they have kept of the God of the aeons were not committed to the book, nor were they written. But angelic beings will bring them, whom all the generations of men will not know, for they will be on a high mountain, upon a rock of truth. Therefore they will be named the words of imperishability and truth, for those who know the eternal God in wisdom of knowledge and teaching of angels forever, for he knows all things. These are the revelations which Adam has made known to Seth his son, and his son taught his seed about them. This is the hidden knowledge of Adam which he gave to Seth, which is the holy baptism of those who know the eternal knowledge, through those born of the Word and the imperishable illuminators who came from the holy seed, Yesius, Mazarius, Yesadukius, the living water. Okay, that is the entire apocalypse of Adam. So did you know prior to this that Adam actually had written something? That there was this whole work about him? Pretty fascinating, isn't it? So the stories that we have received, the stories that we're aware of, aren't quite what we've been told. So there's a lot of unraveling we need to do, especially if we've spent a great deal of our lives studying the Bible. I don't believe we need to throw the baby out with the bathwater here, because the stories in the Bible are still stories that are found within these texts. They're just shorter versions, less complete. And so as we read through the Nag Hammadi text, we could see what should have been put into the Bible in the first place and what has been left out. And when we see, we find a very common occurrence. Archons is one of the things kept out. The understanding about Yaldabaoth is kept out. It really kind of, I don't know, to know that the being that created this universe, this particular universe, did so out of a place of imperfection really kind of answers a lot of questions, because if there's any imperfections created in this world, which we know that there are, we can understand where they come from. Because there was an issue with the Creator doesn't mean the Creator at some point wasn't trying to put all kind of goodness into everything, because obviously that is the case. Obviously there are some skills involved that advanced humankind along the way. Nonetheless, ill intent and ignorance really were the underlying issues that really caused society to have some problems. And that's what the whole purpose of wanting to cleanse humans, to cleanse away that seed that evolved, the seed, that grows from each and every one of us, so we continue to propagate life on and on. So there you go. That's the apocalypse of Adam. Tomorrow I'll get on to something else. But that brings us up to this article here over at In5D. This one is called, Could Déjà Vu Be a Way to Obtain Information from Other Dimensions? Good question. By Anna Lemind. Déjà vu is one of the little-known and mysterious phenomena of our psyche. Many people sometimes feel that a situation in their lives has already been experienced before in all the details. But how and when? This phenomena is called déjà vu, which in French means already seen. It is a condition in which a person feels that once he already experienced a situation of the present, but the feeling is not associated with a specific moment of the past, but refers to the past in general. Déjà vu is quite common. Psychologists believe that 7% of the people have experienced it at least once. Sometimes people are afraid of déjà vu and worry about their mental health. What lies beyond human understanding always frightens us. The reasons that cause the phenomena are still not clear. It might be caused by the processes in the parts of the brain associated with memory and perception. There is a hypothesis that sometimes the perceived information gets to the memory areas sooner than the areas of the primary analysis. Thus, the brain, comparing the situation with its neurocopy already received by the memory, concludes that it already happened before. The human brain works with the help of the biological electricity. It receives bioelectric energy from the whole body and itself. The two hemispheres of the brain concentrate energy in different ways. The left hemisphere concentrates electrical impulses with a negative charge, and the right hemisphere the ones with a positive charge. The potential difference results in a manifold increase in the incoming electrical energy of low-frequency waves. But there is also a high-frequency current which is received by our brain and body as a whole from the environment. This high-frequency subtle energy is used by our nervous system to provide all the psychological and physiological functions. Science has long proven that no man or any living being can survive without this subtle energy. At the same time, our brain can also produce this kind of energy. This happens during the process of thinking because as a result of mental activity, dense electricity is converted into the subtle. Subtle energy has been known to man for a long time. Psychologists call it mental or spiritual energy, the energy of the physical vacuum. Scientists have discovered an elementary particleless energy, a psychon, an analog in the electron in the dense energy. Psychophysical studies have shown that thinking is primarily a process of producing the subtle electricity with certain characteristics of information. Thus, some psychics can see thought forms as subtle electric fields in different colors. Psychology cannot yet describe in detail this feature of our thought forms, but experimental achievements in the field of quantum physics prove the very possibility of the existence of thought forms as energy simultaneously in different spatial temporal continuities. It is proved that quantum can exist in different places at the same time. Astrophysicists confirm this possibility with the discovery that light from distant stars comes to us from the past, present, and future simultaneously. Thus, if a person is experiencing déjà vu, it may be the result of the information brought in by his strong thought forms from the past or the future. We have a wonderful, mysterious, at first glance possibility to obtain information from different spatial temporal continuities connected with us throughout thought forms. Very strong, sustained thought forms are created by the influence of strong emotions and motivations. Therefore, very emotional people with dominant behavior are most likely to experience déjà vu. Déjà vu is not a mental disorder. There's no need to worry. If you are experiencing it, try to get the emotional satisfaction of this phenomena, and fear will disappear immediately. Further studies on the déjà vu phenomena will help bioconsciously control it and to use it to explore human abilities. All right? So, good thought. Remember in the Matrix, déjà vu, when there's a glitch in the Matrix, It's another way that they explained it, which was very fascinating. All right, that brings us here to, show's moving along pretty good today. Today we have from Hilarion. This will be our channeled message for today, perhaps. There we go. Get it all set up. Let's get to it.
Hilarion.
February 1st through the 8th, 2015.
Hilarion.
Beloved ones, as you let go of all your old ideas and expectations of how things should be and open yourselves to the new dimensions of reality that are coming forward, you are individually, and collectively, being given the direction of the next step on your path and the greater part you are playing in the overall plan for humanity's evolutionary journey. Pay attention to the trends that come up through the words in conversations with others, books that you are now reading, the stories on the news media and the movies that you are watching. Quite often, Spirit works through these avenues to bring awareness to you of the direction each of you and the greater collective are now traversing. These all offers hints and clues of that which comes forward at this time to give guidance and direction. You will know the way forward by being still and listening to still small voice within you. As you make connection with the higher aspects of your being, you tap into the eternal source of the divine, which is the true source of your power. As you align with divine will, it invites the resolution and manifestation of all that you need to realize in the understanding of your true purpose for being on the planet in this moment of now. All that you have been visioning and intending is now coming together to create the reality you have been seeking, but you must let go of any preconceived notions of how this should be and just let it happen. By always intending the highest good and the highest outcome for all, you activate the invisible universal forces that work in unison with you to bring into manifestation all that you desire. Allow this new impetus to do its work in your lives and go with the flow of the events as they come forth. Have faith that you are on the correct path to bring to you the highest and greatest good that you have desired. Accept all that you are offered and open the gates of gratitude so that the flow continues. As you release your attachment to the outcomes of that which you have envisioned, you open the floodgates of the true measure of the essence of what you have been seeking, and it will surely come in divine timing, bringing success in all of your aspirations. Your creative projects will bring success as you align with the divine consciousness of all life in the cosmos, and which brings to you the manifestation of your higher destiny and highest outcomes. Accept all that is surfacing with love and discernment within your heart. You are exactly where you need to be on your spiritual journey, and all is unfolding with grace and ease. It is a good time to be proud of your accomplishments in your individual and combined efforts and to allow your greater light to shine. Be alert to the possibility of picking up the energies and the feelings of others. Reset your boundaries should you see that this is occurring. Maintain a healthy self-respect and self-esteem as you remember that you are as unique and as worthy as any of your sisters and brothers who are also co-creating their realities. It is the commonality in mutual goals that must be focused on and how best to serve in that respect, rather than allowing others to override your own inner knowing of the path you should follow. Stay true to yourself in all things. Recognize the truly divine being that you are and the perfection of your path in life so far. It is through traveling that path, with all its challenges, obstacles and experiences, that you are now in this new place which beckons before you. Explore this new place and begin to discover all the limitless possibilities that your expanded consciousness, awareness, connection, and purpose brings to your inner knowing, and make the most of that knowing in creative and loving ways. Look upon your sisters and brothers in the highest light, love, and compassion, and in this way you empower each of them to be all that they can be. Move through life with more strength, courage, and confidence in the direction of your goals, to achieve all that you desire, and be not afraid to express your individuality. Speak your truth when needed, with honesty and integrity when you communicate with others, and know that you are worthy of being listened to and heard. From this place of empowerment, you will always feel happy and content, just by being you. Whatever it is that you wish to create in the world, it must first be cultivated from within in a clear vision of what you truly desire. The picture you hold in your mind of how you see yourself serving and creating, working, and living will bring the needed support in manifesting this into your reality. See and feel this vision clearly, acting as if you have already manifested and received it. Visualize yourselves in your desired situations as though it is already real. Spend time in experiencing how it feels to be there, what it looks like and what it tastes like. Start thinking and acting as though it is already manifested in your daily existence. Love whatever it is that you do and celebrate your creations as they come into fruition. Experience how good it feels to have your true inner light moving through you into the world. It is time for you to shine. Until next week. I am Hilarion.
Alright, very good message from Hilarion. So, let's see what the Warrior of Light message is today, passage, and then we'll go into our meditation. This one is... disappear, there we go. When I draw my bow, says Herigeld to his Zen master, there comes a point when I feel as if I will get breathless if I do not let it fly at once. If you continue to try and provoke the moment when you must release the arrow, then you will never learn the art of the archer, says his master. Sometimes it is the archer's own overactive desire that ruins the accuracy of the shot. The warrior of the light sometimes thinks if I do not do something, it will not be done. It is not quite like that. He must act, but must also allow for the universe to act too. That's a very important point. You know, that's kind of what all of this eventually gets around to. You know, we live in a universe we're told that we are co-creators. We are co-creators. We co-create with the creative spirit of life. When we remember this and we connect with this, then our creating becomes very powerful. But one thing that's important whenever we're co-creating with somebody is we want to leave room for that co-creatorship to occur. We don't want to dominate, taking over something. If there's a partner, we want to work together. Know that when we work, the partner will give us the space, and when the partner's working, we give the partner the space. And we need to know the difference, and that's what it is working with spirit. Sometimes we have to know when to take action, when to ask. Then sometimes we need to know when to receive, when to not take action and let things happen according to the way they need to happen. So there you have it. That brings us to our meditation for today. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale again. Another deep breath. And exhale. Imagine yourself out in life, and all around you is darkness. And despite all of the darkness and not being able to see, you still feel comfortable. Because this darkness is part of being in the cave. Place where we go to have solitude, like the womb of creation. And as we are there in the darkness and we just turn our focus inward, we find that the light shines bright within us. And as we allow that light to shine brighter within us, it expands outward till we become glowing. And the light shines from us to illuminate the darkness. And we realize that we're in a great treasure house. And all these treasures are the treasures of who we are and what we're about. And we see there is abundance beyond measure available to us. And all we ever have to do is just ask, and the universe shall provide exactly what we need. Therefore, we must make sure that we ask for what we need and avoid the things that we do not want. For we can manifest those just as easily. So we get control of our thoughts to make sure that we are using the law of the universe correctly and asking for what we want in the specific way that we need to ask. And then we trust, knowing that the words we have been told by Jesus to ask and you shall receive are exactly that the universe will provide to us. And all we must do is ask. And then simply have the faith to receive. So let's imagine us going through life today simply contemplating that idea of asking and receiving. And how having faith really makes all the difference in the world. So let the subconscious mind continue on that journey, exploring the concept of give and take, ask and receive, law of attraction, all the same ideas. And let the conscious mind, let us come back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is the show for today. Simple thing. Let's just think about energy. Let's just think about how we manifest things in life. And focus on that today. And know that it's a simple formula. We ask for what we want and we get it. Period. Just like we're baking a cake or following any other recipe. We follow along. And if we don't get what we want, it's because we didn't follow the recipe. We ask. We have no doubts. And we allow the receiving to come as it is, as we've asked. So let's just focus on that. Think about those things today. And tomorrow we'll turn our attention elsewhere. That's it. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll get on to another passage in the Nag Hammadi Library. Until then, I love you. Keep loving each other. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.